on Tuesday, September 10th, 2013. And I will ask you to rise. I will lead us in the pledge, which will be followed by a moment of silence in recognition of tomorrow being Patriot Day. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Present. Trustees Darnowski.
Here.
Everybody please rise. I apologize.
Silence. Please face the flag.
Roll call.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Present.
Trustee Darnowski.
Here.
Crease.
Here.
Duberstein. Here. Barrett.
Here.
Daly.
Here.
And Washington.
Here.
Okay, we are in quorum. And our other videographer has arrived, so we're in good shape. I'd like a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
Second.
Okay, at this time we'll receive public comments. Roll call.
Trustee Darnowski.
Aye.
Crease.
Aye.
Duberstein. Barrett. Daly.
Aye.
And Washington.
Aye.
All my comments is next.
I need to go home.
Move to adjourn.
No, we gotta have cake.
Oh, that's okay.
Public comments. Anybody that would like to address the board should have filled out a card and presented it to the clerk. I have one taker. Chris Larson.
I'll try and speak out because we have no microphone. I have a tendency to project my voice anyway. For the past 4 years, the residents of Union Square have worked very closely with the village. Tonight, we stumbled across something that we felt that the village should have in return for all the efforts of Mayor Soto, the trustees, and helping us with some of the issues that we had as we worked in a cooperative effort. So while surfing about the interwebs not too long ago, I came across a book. It is of historical significance to Hainesville as it was authored by Elijah Haines. This is Haines Township Laws, circa 1910. It's an original leather-bound version. And as part of the village's need for some history behind it, I wanted to present that to the village today for their records.
Wow, what a tremendous gift.
Also, in my last trip to the waiting room, I found a severe lack of reading materials. There is a small bit about Hainesville here in the Grays Lake and Avon Township book. There are a number of these that have been done throughout the county here, and I wanted to present that as well so that all the residents and visitors have a chance to read a little bit about the history.
Thank you, Chris. Wow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, this is tremendous. Thank you
you
so
guys,
much.
and enjoy.
Now, I'm not being funny. Wait, don't go away.
Just setting my box down.
I'm going to ask you a question, and also I'll look at the attorney. Now, this says Haines Township laws.
Correct.
Are we still following these laws? Or how much have we amended them?
I would suggest we probably recommend them greatly.
Okay.
I would suggest, in my perusal of it, and also in my duties as a township officer, there are some things that have remained the same since that edition, wording to the letter. There are a lot of changes, and there is nothing else about plank roads left in the statutes.
Okay. Well, and I asked that because I was rather shocked when I became mayor back in '97 and started looking at some of the county laws and how old they were. You know, I mean, because legally we could have buried a horse in our backyard at that point, which has since been changed. But that, believe it or not, that was an issue that came up. So, thank you. That is a tremendous gift.
And thank all of you.
Thank you.
Jim, you can give us a review on that now?
Gary, don't you know my heart? Suggestions for updates?
Did Gary help write the book?
Whoa.
Cool.
They rescinded all mine.
I think that even predates Gary, just by a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other takers on public comments? Last call? Going, gone. Okay, with that, I'm very happy to say that we have some special guests, but very much part of our village in the building. We have our Chief of Police, Phil Perlini, and along with him, we have Guy Fiaschi, Jeff Myra, and Brian Ernst, who were recently promoted, and they are now commanders. So, I welcome Commander Fiaschi, Commander Myra, and Commander Ernst. Guy Fiaschi is over the detectives, Jeff Myra is over operations, and Brian Ernst is over support services. And the chief will be telling you a little bit more about what all that means in a moment. But I wanted to know a little bit more about our commanders and share that information with our board and all of our audience tonight and all of you out there in YouTube land, because we do have people in YouTube land that do watch us. So, guy with camera smile. Guy Fiaschi is actually a transplant from Palatine in the Cook County area, and he was hired in 1992 with the Grays Lake Police Department, and he worked doing the patrol function until 2000, and then he was promoted to sergeant and continued as a patrol supervisor. In 2007, he was assigned as the administrative sergeant and worked in that position until just now, when he was recently promoted to commander. So we're thrilled and look forward to working with you in your new venture with the Grays Lake PD, now serving Hainesville. Jeff Myra is even sharing his age. He's 39 years old. He's married to a wonderful woman named Lisa, and he has 3 children, Cody, Jeffrey, and Cameron. He was hired by the Grays Lake PD as a community service officer in 1997. He attended the Illinois State Police Academy and was sworn in as a full-time police officer in November of 1999. He has worked as a field training officer, gang officer, juvenile officer, assistant watch commander, and criminal investigator. He spent 7 years assigned to the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force as a criminal investigator. Promoted to patrol sergeant in 2005, and then to detective sergeant in 2007, and now, most recently, to commander of operations. Next up, we have Commander Brian Ernst, who is married to Nicole, another wonderful woman. His children are Nathaniel, Benjamin, Samantha, and Stephen, who is only 11 months old, by the way. We want pictures. He was hired by the PD at Grays Lake May 10th, 1999, promoted to sergeant July 13th, 2006, and then most recently promoted to commander. He has been a field training officer, juvenile officer, breath operator, accident reconstructionist, and member of the Major Crash Assistant Team, also known as MCAT of Lake County. He has served as both the president and secretary of the Grays Lake Police Pension Fund since May 1 of 2001, and he's been in charge of the traffic unit from July 2006 to July 2013. He scheduled traffic details, secured funding for traffic grants, deployed speed trailers, conducted speed studies. He's participated in Shop with a Cop, and he's helped create the Heroes Fund with the Grace Lake Fire Department to raise funds to assist families of both the fire and police departments with medical bills, donated to the area mitten tree programs, and provided funds for scholarship at Grace Lake North High School, Grace Lake Central High School, and Warren High School. I have worked with these gentlemen. I hope to work with them more closely now with their new responsibilities, and they have served the village of Grace Lake very well, and I'm very proud now with the service that they have provided and will continue to provide to the village of Hainesville. So before we give our chief the floor to tell us a little bit more about the reorganization within the PD, I'd like to give them a round of applause. I'm going to come around and shake your hands, too. Congratulations. 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 Also, yeah.
Can I get a picture with you?
Sure, absolutely.
It's fine. One more. Get a little closer. Thank you very much. And you got one with the chief? Yes.
It's going over to the post office.
Yes.
I just think it's funny how cops have this ability to never smile, no matter what. It's good stuff.
I'm going to give Phil the floor, and while he's doing that, I'm going to cut the cake, because we got a cake for you guys from Love It Up.
Yeah, love it up in the place of our, we have a special donut over there.
Is it the maple bacon?
2 strips of crispy bacon, so they call it the Grace Lake Pig. That's right, we got our own special donut over there. It's good stuff, delicious. But we did reorganize the police department. An idea I had probably about a year ago now. When I first came in, there were 8 sergeants, no middle management at all. It was 8 sergeants, and the rest were all patrol officers. And we sort of had this issue of getting things done in a timely manner, in an organized manner. And when I first came in, I was trying to do it all myself. I quickly found that I needed to have some people to do some of the functions. You probably are all familiar with Brian. He's done all your traffic studies since we've started doing your policing. Jeff has been in charge of the detectives since he started, and Guy has been pretty much sort of managing the contract under the past chiefs during the time. So they're all familiar with Hainesville and with how things work, which was a big deal about how they got chosen. One of the things that you had to know what's going on in this town. And you didn't have to know what's going on in this town, like reading the papers and stuff. You had to know what's going on in Hainesville by experiencing Hainesville. I know I could go to any one of these guys, ask them questions. They could tell me what's going on, traffic problems, where they're at, what times the details needed to be, when they needed to be added, things like that. As we progressed throughout the last year, I started pushing a little more and more for the ability to promote these guys to a level where they had some functional authority in what they were actually doing, instead of having to run everything through me all the time. Also looking to train people up. Sooner or later, I'm going to get old enough to leave, like, 20 years or so, and maybe one of these guys will still be around and take over. What we're trying to do is a succession thing. We're trying to train everybody up so that when I leave, or when the next guy leaves, or anything like that, we have somebody that can take over that job from within the organization, somebody who's familiar with all aspects. And this is sort of a rare thing, policing 2 towns. Even though, I don't know how you think about it personally, but for us, it's a huge responsibility. It's not like, you know, one town's up here, one town's down there, or anything like that. It's policing one large area with two very similar types of populations, yet two sort of different kinds of rules. Way more sort of, you know, hometownish here, I guess, I would say. I love it. I drive through town probably once, maybe twice a day. I take a car, I come out here, I drive around. I see a lot of people. I see a lot of, you know, a lot of things. I leave a lot of gift certificates, let's say, when I'm driving down the neighborhood. But no, I mean, it's just one of those things that become, it's just a great place. And I think I've become personally attached, and as have these guys become personally attached. We know what the issues are here, and the issues don't always surround laws as much as they surround maybe circumstances and people. And we know the people, and we know the circumstances, and we know how to treat things. These three guys have been able to split up the police department into three different sections. We have support services, which of course supports any kind of thing that we need for personnel, for equipment, things like that. That's pretty much Brian's thing. Brian's thing used to be traffic. Now traffic is Jeff's thing. We're all sort of training each other. Jeff's training Guy in the detective part of it. We're all kind of bouncing things off each other. We're all learning from each other. We're all on the same page. We meet, we see each other every single day. We have a meeting at least half an hour long every single morning. Find out what's going on in our lives, what we're going to accomplish that day. And in the afternoon before we go, we meet again and say, what did we do? What do we need to do tomorrow? What needs to go on here? Like I say, policing Hainesville here is, I mean, I've said it to you before, and I know people have laughed, but seriously, people fight over being able to control this town. Because it's got that feel to it. It's got that neighborhood feel to it. It's got that, we can drive through town, say hi to people, we get all 5 fingers when they wave. It's really not except for one guy. But, I mean, it's but, I mean, it's just great. We've come to recognize that we've tried to make Hainesville more part of our sort of daily thing. I mean, I don't know if anybody's noticed the subtle changes in our cars, but as the cars are progressing, putting the scripts are a little different. It may seem like a small thing to you guys, but, you know, we had these little stickers on there that said Gray's Lake and then Hainesville. I didn't like it. It looked like it was sort of an add-on or sort of we restriped the cars down. Unfortunately, we didn't bring one tonight. We brought actually a brand new car tonight. It's not even striped yet. But basically it says Gray's Lake / Hainesville. And it looks like all one thing. You know, I mean, we're just trying to do these little things, these things for us to get involved. We have a drug take back coming. We have some other things coming up in town. Shop with a Cop, of course, is a huge thing here. That it was my first time that I ever was able to partake in that and participate in that. Was last year, and of course I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things, but I thought I had the cutest kids that were there. But you know, but it's hard to not get. You go there and you do it, and you get attached, and you want to do more. And this is just one of those towns. We just always feel like we want to do more. And you know, I don't get a lot of. I haven't gotten any negative feedback, and I get a lot of positive feedback, and it's a nice thing. It's good when you go out, and you do some work, you do some hard work, and you get a phone call that says, good job, or thank you, or thanks for coming out, or including us in this, or whatever. I mean, it sounds sort of corny, but I like to think of us as sort of a big, you know, type of family thing, big community. In my head, there's no division. I have police here, I have police in Gray's Lake. It's not divided for me. It's one police department trying to do something for all of its residents. And these guys are there to help that. Jeff's the guy that's going to manage the contract mostly. I also want you to know that when I'm away, you can call any one of these three guys and they'll be able to handle anything, you know, if I go on vacation or something like that, something that I was a little bit worried to do in the past. And you know, we're not going to be able to take very much vacation time last year, year and a half. And that was because we're doing a lot of things, and I didn't want to saddle people doing jobs when they didn't really have the authority to do those jobs. Well, now we've given some authority, and now we're going to get some work done in this place, in this place at the Graysville Police Department. But we think of ourselves as your police department as much as we think of ourselves as the Grays Lake Police Department. And, you know, it's, I think we have a lot of fun out here. I think we have a good time out here. I hope you guys all feel good about us, feel good about the job we're doing or trying to do. And if you have suggestions, be sure to share them with us, because we're more than happy to come out and do whatever we can do. You know, there's always the traffic issues. We know about those. We try to put people out there. We had a little bus issue early on in the year. And it was a legitimate bad issue. The three of us went out there one morning and watched it. Yeah, it's bad. You know, it was bad news. Didn't go 100% the way we wanted it, I think, but we came to a compromise anyway. But the thing is that there was an issue and we tackled it. And not just tackled it with my head anymore. I have three wise men with me. And between all of us, we can come to a good approach, because we all sort of look at the problem differently. You know, Brian probably more methodical than anybody else, and you know, Jeff more from a all-around point of view, and the guy just likes to attack things. So, you know, well, between the three of us, or four of us, we get everything done. And it's nice to have different points of view and people I can go to and people you can go to. I hope you feel good about us all, and like I say, any suggestions or any remarks, we're more than happy to hear.
A quick comment.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
Microphone, right?
when we went to the joint police department 4 years ago now, something like four and a half, it was a big step for us, and it truly has worked out. Very pleased. And I think that so is the community. This will take some memory, but if you talk to Mike Ellis, you might want to remind him that in our original contract, there was a happiness clause, that if you guys were happy serving us, we'd get a reduction in price. So we're waiting for that.
I will have to make sure he's not seen as YouTube. We are very happy. We are very happy.
Chief Burley, I really would like to thank you and the Grays Lake Police Department for all you have done for us. We can see the improvement in this new village, and congratulations to the new commanders.
Thank you.
You're here, very happy. And I can relate to what the chief said, not having much vacation the last year and a half, because you can tell I'm pretty ragged at this meeting. I have not had a lot of sleep lately, and I've been working on many good things, so I apologize that I'm not too good tonight. I do hope to go away soon, in October, so maybe I'll be able to recharge my battery, and I would recommend that the chief go away now that we've got three commanders in place.
I will.
Okay,
Question.
microphone.
You had mentioned the drug take back again. Someone asked if we were planning to do that again anytime soon. And is that something that you work through the task force that the Lake County has, the health department has?
They work in conjunction with the DEA, and we're all working together on this. And we will be doing it
October 26th.
October 26th.
Yeah, I don't know that it's on the website, we just got the information and it's going out in the next newsletter. And is it October 26th or the 27th?
Saturday the 26th.
27th is trick or treat. I think.
And they can just,
Yeah, we don't want to mix those two.
Oh, okay.
you just drop them off somewhere?
Right here.
Here,
We'll
that-
have
that's
a top
what
up
we're
here,
looking
right
for,
here, with
yeah.
an officer.
And that will all be publicized, yeah.
And there'll be an officer here for it. And we have big plans again for Halloween, so. I know there was, I thought it was a little cap over a little last year, but it's going to be cap over a little again this year, because I think it needs to be one of the safest days of the year. It's the only day of the year you feel like you can let your kids loose a little bit and have some fun.
Ted didn't hear you, he's asking for the microphone, can you speak in the microphone?
How's that? All right, that's all right. But we're planning, same thing as last year. Lots of police for trick or treat, especially during the hours that the kids are out. A, for traffic safety, and B, of course, it's just a nice place to be able to have your kids out and know that there's police right in the area, and we'll have plenty of cars out there, so.
Yeah, so, Hainesville trick or treating Sunday, October 27th, and the hours will be 3:30 to 7. And we will be having hay rides again, and we will have 2 operators again. I know Phil likes one of our operators in particular. And he's gonna even be using an antique, very cool antique tractor that he bought and had painted.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. And then that same weekend, but Saturday the 26th, is the prescription drug drop-off here. And what are the hours on that again? Did you get that?
I didn't get that.
Okay.
10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay.
And we will have an officer here.
Yeah, very, very worthwhile program. It's
It is.
unbelievable what people have.
Well, you can't get rid, it's hard to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
It really is.
Any other questions for the chief or our commanders? All right, thank you all for a job well done.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wait till I get the cake in your mouth, then.
Please take your time, finish up your cake. You don't have to stay through the entire meeting. We understand if you want to get home, although you are welcome to stay. We don't have a lot of the agenda, so we hopefully won't be here too late this evening. Okay, next item up is the omnibus vote agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Trustees Dernoski.
Aye.
Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett. Daly.
Aye.
And Washington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we'll go to reports and communications, starting with our village engineer, Greg Rowan.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a couple of items. The Jetco final pay request, although it's not on the omnibus agenda today, has been submitted to the Public Works Committee, and I would expect that to be on the next village board meeting.
Correct.
The PowerPoint presentation, we're still waiting for that from the Northwest Sewer Group. That's the PowerPoint that's going to explain the $1.50 surcharge for the sewer bills for everybody on the west of Hainesville Road and also including Union Square. One loose end that got tied up this week was at Deer Point Drive at Route 120. There was a stop bar that was overlooked by IDOT, but that we were able to contact IDOT and they were able to get out there and get the contractor and finish that. And that's all.
Okay, Attorney Jim Brown.
Excuse me just a second, one quick.
Yeah.
Greg, you've probably said this before, and pardon me if I've forgotten. Is there a website where we can go and look at the plans for the Washington corridor?
Yes, I will, I'll get you a link to that, but I think it's actually on the, actually a link, there might be a link on the village website.
There
But
is.
There is?
yeah, there's a
I'll look at it. There is.
separate web page
This
for
has also got one.
Washington.
Okay.
Looking at it today.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, so we're all good? Attorney Jim Brown.
Just want to mention that recently Mayor Soto and Greg Lewin and I met with representatives from Russo to talk about some potential expansion plans, and we asked them to submit a proposal. Nothing formal, was no formal discussions, just a meeting and some discussions, so we're waiting a proposal from Russo. That's all I have tonight.
Jeff Gately, our Public Works Superintendent, headed out to Springfield this afternoon. He's attending a Public Works Utility Conference, so he'll be reporting on what good knowledge he gained from attending that at our next meeting. I do want to tell you that hopefully you've all noticed that our sidewalk repairs have been completed throughout the village. We had portions intermittently, just odd squares here and there that were raised a good 4 to 6 inches and or had holes in them or whatever. So those have all been replaced, and it's much more pleasant and safer walk now as you go through town, or run, whatever you choose to do. Also, they made, of course, tremendous headway with the tree removal, and been working on the chips for Cranberry Lake. Due to recent storm damage that actually hit the village of Gray's Lake, we received chips galore. So we had a truck running back and forth and back and forth. We couldn't get the chips here fast enough for the guys to spread them out. But and we still have more to come, so we're not done yet. We'll move on to our building official, Aki.
Thank you, Mayor. Tally of inspections and permits for last August issue. Total was 19, and the previous July was 15, so we are consistently moving up. Plus minus 4, more than last month. And the total permit fee, July was about $730, in August ended up at about $1,248, so we are consistently moving up again. And number of inspections, July was 24 total, and last month, August was 46. So I guess we are working harder than the month before. It was 42 more than July issue. And out of inspections, we had 14 violation complaints and citations. We actually issued one citation under the CSO, Grace Lake. And that was, I think everybody's aware of that chair sitting in front of the street.
The issue with the large chair in front of the thrift store, that's been interesting.
Right. And we issued 2 yellow tickets, which that was just a warning, photographs and garbage collections and so forth. And those are the numbers we have. But seriously, we are getting a little more than previous month. We're getting a little bit busier, so hopefully it's going to get more and more. Just across my finger. And I think that's the total information that I have so far. And if you have any question, glad to answer if I can.
Okay, Aki, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our EMA coordinator is now present. He sent me a text a little while ago. He's still at work. So hopefully we can follow up with him and see what's National Preparedness, Emergency Preparedness Month. Okay. Our treasurer report will be filled in by Finance Committee. Village clerk, I don't think you have anything to report, or do you? No. Okay, all right. We'll move on to the mayor's report. Let's see if I can actually manage to get through this without forgetting anything like I've been doing here. Our concert in the park was this past Saturday, and it's the first time we've done that instead of Hainesville Fest this year. We just went with kind of a mini Ravinia idea, and I thought it was very successful, especially for our first venture at it. It was kind of exciting what was going to happen with the weather, and I think if we hadn't had that downpour, an hour before, even more people would have attended. But I think all in all, we had a good turnout. People just brought their chairs and blankets and their picnic baskets, and we had the Round Lake Area Legion Hall provide their beer tent. One of our other favorite vendors in the area is Winos, which is located in the shopping center on Washington across from CLC. And he was selling wine by the glass along with some craft beers. The Legion also had water bottles and soda available. And really was a nice, fun evening. So I'm asking everyone to please give us your feedback if you would like to see more of this and perhaps different types of music. Maybe this is something we could do several times during the summer season and offer a different type of music, whether it's big band, country and western, you know, we had rock and blues pretty much this one. So let us know what you're interested in. Hainesville Fest will be coming back next year for a full weekend. And we do have a planning committee, and if you have ideas or would like to join that committee, we welcome you. So again, provide us your input. We've already covered Halloween. At our last meeting, we had touched on the planning and finance has pretty much come to a close for the Northwest Sewer sanitary improvements, and there is a PowerPoint being put together. Tomorrow, I will be attending a Northwest Sewer Advisory Board meeting, and I believe I will see the final presentation at that time. They are still working on the voiceover. I don't know what is so complicated about this, but I'm hoping to find out tomorrow that it will be ready in time for us to show at our next board meeting this month, which would be September 24th. So watch our website. We'll do a CTY call to those residents living in that sewer district, which would be Union Square Townhomes, Cranberry Lake single-family homes, and both townhome developments, and also the Walgreens strip mall are all within that sewer sanitary district. If for some reason it's not ready in time, it'll have to be shown at the October board meeting. It will explain what the improvements are, what the time frame will be, and how the project is being funded, and how this will appear on your bill. Everyone will also get a letter from the county itself explaining this, but it's a $1.50 special assessment fee that will be on your sewer bill. It'll be a separate line item. And then a final note, and one thing that's been all of a sudden I've had more reading to do and keeping me busy. You may have been reading in the newspapers about Illinois Tollway talking about Route 53. Now. I got a phone call from the Illinois Tollway asking me, as mayor of Hainesville, to serve on a finance committee or board for this project. So I agreed to do so, and I also offered up the Hainesville Village Hall as a meeting place for these meetings because they haven't settled on a place in Lake County. So I have offered our Village Hall, so some and or all of the meetings may be here, so more to come on that. I think that's enough from me. We'll move on to the standing committees and we'll go to finance. Trustee Daly.
I'm covering for Kelly a little bit. She's been done it for the last few days, most of you going through transition on the computers, the software, and it is, I think, we can report going fairly well. There, as usual, there have been some bugs, but the ladies have been working them out.
We're rolling with it.
We're still, still waiting on the audit results, the final ones. Kelly's going to email them, Wolf and Company, tomorrow to try to get a better handle on it. It's taken a little bit longer than we expected. And finally, Finance Committee met tonight, and we are in the initial discussion stage of trying to develop some processes that will help us have a better handle on project costs prior to the project's commencing. Just some process changes on our operations. Hopefully that'll work out well. And that's what I've got.
Sounds good. Okay, Public Works, Trustee Walkington.
In conjunction with the sidewalk improvements that they've done, there are disability mats. Jeff got those in possession. He's going to put those down next week when he gets back from the conference.
Yeah, and those are going in Misty Hill. It's the state statute that requires that, Greg, or?
That's correct. We resurfaced Misty Hill, and as part of resurfacing the project, we are required to put those domes in there. So it's,
I mean, little plastic mats that go into the little bumps on them?
yeah, you used to be able to, just, the diamond mesh pattern used to be acceptable, but has since been replaced, and you have to put those little plastic mats with little domes on.
So each time we move forward and we resurface in
Correct.
the each subdivision, Cranberry Lake, Deer Point, then we will be putting those in.
That's correct.
Okay.
Do you use the triangles, or you just replace that little square? I mean,
They just replace the square, and in other spots, they actually make mats that go right on the surface of the concrete. So if the concrete's in good shape, you can put the mat down right on top of it, glue it down and screw it in.
That wouldn't matter, quarter inch, or is it?
Yeah, it doesn't, these are all ADA compliant.
It's amazing. The ADA is a well-funded, well-engineered organization. It's good.
This is
You
saving.
want to use that law up there.
We would figure about $1,000 per ramp if we were gonna have a contractor do it, but just doing these in-house for probably 1/10 of the cost.
And that's all I have, except hopefully 53 didn't ask us to fund.
You don't even hear what some of my ideas were. I'll save that for another month.
That's all I have.
But I may be selling commemorative ornaments during the holiday season that say Build 53. Think about it. No, just kidding. Let's move on to public safety. Trustee Crease.
Not much going on since our last report that you already had to do for me. I was a little bit under, whatever, a little leakage, like Jerry would say, at our last meeting.
Oh, that's going to really
Yeah, well,
confuse
just-
people.
I just happened to have a bloody nose, that's all it was. So, but what ended up happening was.
Joe Jan punched him.
What? Yeah. Delayed reaction. So
That's why we had the police here this year.
But the only thing I really do have is that we're going to have, our next meeting is going to be September 24th at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. And one thing that Chief Berlin keeps on saying is keep your garage doors closed and keep your cars locked. And so you will be able to keep your valuables with you. So that's about it.
Okay, now we'll move on to wetlands and open spaces. Trustee Duberstein.
Although I haven't seen anyone else from Grace Lake, I will thank you for the mulch for our path. The Wetlands Committee is always looking for chips for our mile-long path. And when you have time off, please come and walk the path. There really isn't too much going on with the Wetland Committee at the moment. But BEST, which I've mentioned before, is bringing everyone's strengths together. It's an organization of networking for many different organizations whose goal is to improve the Round Lake area. And a few things that happened or are happening with them. It was very nice of Mayor Soto to let BEST do a 50-50 raffle at the concert, and that gave us $91 for our fundraising. We do grants to individuals and small groups that have a project that they have in mind, and they just need a little seed money. We can do grants up to $500 usually, is the max. So we're always looking for people that have ideas. The other thing that BEST is doing is their chili supper is October 7th. It's a Monday night, and that's their main fundraiser for the year. It's from 5 to 7:30 at the Round Lake Beach Cultural Center, and it's $1 for a hot dog, $1 for the chili, $1 for a drink, $1 for chips, and $1 for cookies. So it's a reasonable dinner and goes to a good cause. So we would encourage you to come And we have entertainment from the different schools, their courses and other activities that they present things there. So we'd like to have the community represented. The other thing is Round Lake High School is in dire need of expansion. And so my husband George and I are now on the design committee to see what we can do to find a way of providing these additional classrooms and yet stay within a budget that, even though there is a referendum that will be necessary, it would not hopefully add any money to the tax bill. So, but we will be reporting on things, and there will be a website that people can go to see the progress. It isn't set up yet, but it will be. So that's all I have right now.
Can I ask you to also report on the pet clinic, since you were a volunteer there?
Oh, yes. The pet clinic. When I got here at 9 o'clock, there was a line around the building of people waiting to get their pets attended to. They were giving rabies and distemper shots and microchipping, and it was at a very reasonable rate. It was $25 for the shots and $15 for the microchip. We did 200 pets between 9 and 12.
And this was through the Lake County Health Department and the Avon Community Foundation.
Now, there's a lot of people there way before we even opened up, because I come rolling in and park my truck over at Public Works, and I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, they showed up early.
They try to encourage people to come later because everybody tends to come early, and I must say that all the animals were very well behaved. And
Outside of the little dachshund that had
And I can't say the same for some of the people, but that probably would have been a good idea. But they thought it was the best location that they have used, and this is the 9th pet clinic they've had this year, and they liked, we set it up in the garage with tables there, and then they would in line until we could get to them. So I think we'll probably be seeing that again.
It was a good project. I liked it from the standpoint that it gave the people in the community a chance to take care of their pets. Because it seems like every time I take my kids' pets to the vet, it's costing me $250. You know, it's like, so this was a real neat thing.
Cost effective, yeah.
Unfortunately, we already just had the cats through the vets before you announced this thing.
Maybe next year we do this a drive-through? Pull them in garage, shoot them out the other end?
We were thinking of using the public works building.
Yeah, but that was a drive-through then.
Right.
But we did let them know that we would be willing to host it again in the future, so it was a success, and people, it serviced our residents, but people came from all over. I was amazed at where some of these people came from. It was unbelievable.
It's a very eclectic crowd.
Yes, that it was. The other thing I wanted to mention, especially since Trustee Duberstein touched on that, she's now serving on the Brown Lake High School Design Committee for the expansion, along with her husband George, who's in our audience there tonight, so will your name through.
As always.
It was interesting because at the concert in the park, I was talking to people there, and some of them were with Best. And people are still very confused about Hainesville, especially if they don't live in our town and they live, although in a community right next door. For as little as we are, we're in a lot of districts. We're in 2 fire districts, we're in 2 school districts, we're in 2 park districts. So I just, for clarification, because again, I'm amazed at how many people still don't understand. And some of these people are people that I've been meeting with for years. And I know I've even at presentations at our annual report where the mayors talk about the Round Lake area, and I have the map and I talk about the boundaries. But when people were sitting in our Union Square Park, and they're like, wow, I never knew this park was here, because it's nestled within the subdivisions, and, you know. And I go, well, yeah, you know, and they're like, it's a really nice park. So they're like, this is a village park? No, this is Grays Lake Park District. Well, how can this be Grays Lake Park District? Because this part of town is Grays Lake, that part of town is Round Lake. So we have parks in both park districts. So we devote our efforts to both park districts and both school districts. So regardless of what district you live in, I encourage everyone, please volunteer your time. If you have a talent that, you know, might help the schools or planning, it doesn't matter what side you live on, it all is your town. And that's why we have this wonderful organization bringing everyone's strengths together. So that's my little commercial on that.
Can I add to that commercial?
Yes.
I ran an ad in an article in the newsletter about my Read to Succeed tutoring program for the high school freshmen that are reading below grade level. And I am delighted to report that people who have responded have been on the Grays Lake School District side and willing to help out the Round Lake freshmen. And I really appreciate it. I hope we can put the article in often and get some more folks.
Okay, wonderful.
And it's starting next Monday.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, any other last minute commercials? Okay, let's move on to business. There isn't going to be much discussion on item 1 at this time, other than I want it to be well known. We have this posted on the website. It's out front with our meeting notices. It should be posted in the paper and other places. There is a public hearing for the application on the group waste transfer station, September 23rd at 12 p.m. at the Round Lake Beach Cultural Civic Center. The waste transfer station has been quite an item of discussion. People in our community and neighboring communities have mixed feelings about this and what impact it will have in our community. Hainesville is primarily and high on the radar concerned about traffic impact. There is also concern about, will this have an impact on property values? And Swelco has experts looking into this and will be speaking on our behalf. There's